Stop right there. Don't scroll past this. You didn't click on this message by chance, Taurus. It is the exact moment of your karmic cycle that brought you here to hear this today. I feel the heavy walls you've built around yourself, how much you've shielded your heart because you are exhausted from giving everything and receiving so little in return. But there is someone moving closer to you right now, and if you close this video, you might mistake a profound karmic blessing for just another burden. You might believe that this sudden presence in your life is just a random coincidence or another test meant to disrupt your hard-earned peace. The pain you carry is that of the Taurus who sustains everyone else, the one who has been let down so many times that you now prefer the absolute safety of solitude, terrified of trusting again. You've kept the heavy iron drawbridge of your fortress pulled up for so long to protect yourself from invaders, but the person approaching now isn't coming to siege your walls. They are carrying the supplies you've been owed for years. You will understand who this presence really is and why they are being powerfully pulled toward your energy right now. You will discover how this approach connects directly to a karmic cycle of unrequited effort you thought was completely closed. You will learn to differentiate a repeating karmic trap from a true karmic return. You will see the exact signs the universe is using to prepare your heart for this encounter. And before this message closes, I will tell you a single sentence about your life that you will carry with you for the next few months. Have you ever felt that sudden tightening in your chest when someone actually shows genuine care, as if your body is bracing for the inevitable disappointment you've known before? As if your mind is whispering that true connection will always eventually turn into a painful loss? And what if this sudden urge to build your walls higher isn't self-protection, but a sign that the universe is trying to deliver a karmic return you are too afraid to let in? Because while many push away good people out of fear, few realize that this specific approach can carry a deep spiritual healing, a final closure to your past pain, and the exact devotion you always deserved. But what if the great turning point lies in this revelation that you haven't been able to apply yet? Now think with me. Why do certain areas seem blocked even when I try to do everything right? What if every text left unread, every promise that faded away, every night you spent rebuilding your walls, every time you gave your all to the wrong person, and this constant exhaustion of always having to be the strong one, are signs of a karmic debt you have postponed for far too long? It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. This book is not just a read. It is a revelation created for Taurus who desire to understand the invisible karmic patterns that keep you isolated. Break the cycles of fear, defensive pride, and emotional starvation. Strengthen your true inner magnetism and see exactly who the universe is pulling toward you. Many Taurus already feel that they need to change how they view their blockages, but haven't yet made the decision to download the digital book. Download it right now. It is available in the first pinned comment, but pay attention. Access may be taken offline at any moment. It reveals reflections, hidden signs, and directions that can transform your resistance into profound receptivity. Do not wait for another genuine soul to walk away for you to seek understanding. Click right now, download your copy, and discover why the highest wall you've built might be the exact place where the universe is preparing your greatest romantic liberation. If this first word has already touched something inside you, write, "I am open to receive" down below. Not for me, but because another Taurus who is exactly where you were a year ago needs this message to find them tonight. You are still processing this right now, feeling that familiar tightening in your chest, but this path has a map, and it is already within your reach in the first pinned comment. I will return to it shortly. And if for some reason you are not interested or cannot acquire the digital book right now, there is still another open door for you. I don't receive a single penny for any of these messages I deliver here every day, nothing at all. And yet, they keep coming out, every day, for you and for every Taurus who still needs to be reached. If at any moment your heart wishes to give back a little of what you received, there is a voluntary donation link open in the first pinned comment, right below the book. Any amount that fits in your hand today, any amount your heart points to, that is what keeps this channel standing. That is what makes the next message reach another Taurus tomorrow, exactly as it reached you today. I am waiting for you there, Taurus. I haven't told you the most important thing yet. There are 4 signs that this cycle has already started to turn, and you will recognize at least one of them. I want you to pause for a second, Taurus. I need you to step away from the noise of your day and come completely into this moment with me. Notice how your body reacts to what I am going to say now. Feel the tension you carry in your shoulders, that invisible weight you refuse to put down. For a very long time, you have convinced yourself that it is safer to handle everything on your own. You have guarded your space so fiercely that your nervous system forgot what it feels like to simply be supported. But this energetic field around you is shifting rapidly. The universe is already sending physical manifestations that this long season of isolation is coming to a definitive end. The first sign arrived in the absolute silence of the night. It was that sudden, unexplained memory of someone from your past that hit you at 3 a.m. while you were just staring at the ceiling. You were completely fine, and then a wave of familiar presence washed over your chest. For some of you, this appears as an old friend suddenly reaching out from nowhere. For others, it is a completely new person who feels instantly, inexplicably familiar before they even speak. You called it a random coincidence. The universe called it a karmic magnet pulling them in. The second sign happened in the most mundane moment of your routine. It was that strange feeling of being watched or thought about while you were pouring your morning coffee, making you turn around in an empty kitchen. You felt a heavy gaze, a sudden shift in the air temperature, a pull that made your heart skip a beat for no logical reason. That was the universe actively aligning the invisible thread between you and them. You called it an intrusion on your peace. The universe called it the exact counterweight to your past sacrifices. The third sign was a physical manifestation of return. It was the moment you found an old object you thought you had lost forever while cleaning your room on a Sunday afternoon. A photograph, a piece of jewelry, or a letter slipping out of a book. It wasn't just you stumbling upon clutter. This represented the tangible return of what is rightfully yours, a physical echo that your lost energy is circling back to your hands. You called it a trick of memory. The universe called it the undeniable proof that what you gave is returning. The fourth sign struck your body directly. It was a sudden, deep emotional exhaustion hitting you out of nowhere right after you felt completely fine at work. Your limbs felt heavy, your mind demanded rest, and an ancient tiredness settled in your bones. This was not physical fatigue, Taurus. This was your soul clearing out old defensive debris to make massive space for this new arrival. You called it a risk of getting hurt again, a reason to lock your doors. The universe called it the final stage of your karmic clearing. These signs have a common origin, and it has a name. But before the name, you need something else. There is a path of karmic settlement regarding these closed walls you carry, and I will open it right now, before the name, before the word, because whoever carries an ancient debt of unrequited love needs relief before receiving the revelation. Stay. And this is exactly where the path to karmic settlement opens. The signs that just hit your life didn't hit by chance, Taurus. They are the undeniable knock on your heavy doors. I know you felt that heavy instinct to run away when things start feeling safe, an ancient reflex trying to protect a wound nobody else can see. It is exhausting to navigate life as if your mind believes every open door is a trap waiting to snap shut on you, carefully analyzing every gesture of affection to see where the hidden cost is buried. But I need you to ask yourself this right now. What if this instinct to run isn't wisdom, but a karmic blockage? What if this constant vigilance is exactly what is keeping your profound spiritual repayment locked outside your own gates? I have seen Taurus who were exactly where you are right now. I have watched them build magnificent, impenetrable fortresses of self-sufficiency, completely convinced that isolation was their only true sanctuary from a world that only knows how to take. They were exhausted. They were drained by the constant demand of being the unshakable anchor for everyone else, while quietly realizing they had nowhere to drop their own heavy weight when the storm hit. The people who took your stability and left. The times your loyalty was treated as an option. The heavy feeling of always being the rock for others while standing entirely alone. You have carried this silently, Taurus. You believed it was just your natural destiny to endure this imbalance without complaining. But there is a cosmic scale, and it is demanding a correction right now. It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. This is not just a simple read, it is a profound, life-altering mapping that decodes your deepest spiritual blockages. It will show you exactly how to understand the invisible karmic patterns that keep you isolated. It will teach you how to finally break the cycles of fear, defensive pride, and emotional starvation that have governed your choices. It will strengthen your true inner magnetism and allow you to see exactly who the universe is pulling toward you right now without triggering your old traumas. Because a karmic return never arrives empty-handed. It always brings back the exact weight of love and effort you poured into the wrong soil in the past. But you must understand this detail. This cosmic window of alignment does not wait, and this exact configuration of return will only remain open for those willing to lower their defenses today. If you choose to ignore this path and step back into your old patterns, the cost of your hesitation will only multiply. Every month you navigate without this understanding is another genuine soul you push away out of conditioned panic. Every year you refuse to lower your drawbridge is a tragic deepening of your emotional starvation, turning your hard-earned peace into an unbearable, echoing prison of loneliness. You do not need to walk this labyrinth in the dark anymore. Go to the first pinned comment right now and download your copy while this revelation is still vibrating in your chest. The universe is ready to deliver your compensation, but it requires the complete dismantling of these defensive walls that only this specific map can guide you through. Breathe in deeply, Taurus. I want you to feel the cold, heavy iron chains of your inner drawbridge in your hands right now. For years you have stood guard in the rain, hyper-vigilant, expecting every shadow on the horizon to be a thief coming to steal your peace. You have protected your inner vault so fiercely that you forgot how to let the sun in. It is not a curse. It is not an eternal sentence. It is just an outdated defense mechanism. But the cosmic scales are finally tipping in your favor. The person approaching your perimeter right now is not here to siege your walls or take from your reserves. They are carrying the supplies you have been owed for lifetimes. And as I had told you earlier, Taurus, besides the digital book that is in the first pinned comment, there is that voluntary donation link open, right below the book. I continue to not receive a single penny for every message that leaves here for you. That is why this link exists, so that another Taurus tomorrow finds exactly this message that found you today. Any amount that your heart points to. Each gesture like this keeps our channel standing and makes the next message reach whoever needs it, exactly as it reached you today. The next layer goes deeper. And now, with the path laid out before you, the name descends. You have spent years trying to rationalize the sudden entrances and exits in your life. But what you are experiencing right now is not a random coincidence. It is not an intrusion on your hard-earned peace. It is not just another test meant to break you. It is the law of concentric echoes. This profound cosmic dynamic does not happen overnight, and it never forces its way through your defenses. The law of concentric echoes unfolds in 3 distinct progressive layers, designed specifically to bypass the ancient barriers you've built around your heart. The first layer is the initial ripple. It is the first physical or digital sign of their presence in your orbit. It is the first subtle disturbance in the still pond of your meticulously controlled life. Pay close attention to unusual notifications or chance encounters this week. You will spot the messenger before they even speak. For some of you, this appears as an old friend suddenly reaching out from nowhere, bringing a warmth you forgot existed. For others, it is a completely new person who feels instantly, inexplicably familiar, triggering a sense of profound recognition in your soul. When they notice the sadness you tried to hide, it wasn't a threat, it was a return. Then comes the second layer, the energetic resistance. This is the internal fear and absolute panic you feel as they actually get closer to your core. It is the rust on the old iron hinges of your drawbridge fiercely resisting movement. You feel that sudden tightening in your chest when someone actually shows genuine care, as if your body is bracing for the inevitable disappointment you've known before. Your mind starts looking for red flags that aren't there, trying to convince you that this is a repeating karmic trap. But notice when you want to run away and take a deep breath instead. You will break the ancient cycle of self-sabotage by simply staying still. When they stayed after you pushed them away, it wasn't a threat, it was a return. Finally, the third layer arrives, the karmic counterweight. This is the moment of recognizing what they are actually here to bring to your life. It is the missing puzzle piece finally falling into place on the board. Ask yourself what you've been lacking most in silence. What have you secretly prayed for while pretending you needed nothing? You will realize they are bringing exactly that. For some of you, this is the emotional validation you were constantly denied, the safe space to finally drop your shoulders. For others, it is a literal, tangible partnership that brings profound stability. This is the ultimate purpose of the law of concentric echoes, pulling back the exact weight of love and effort you poured into the wrong soil in the past. Think of the archetype of the guardian of the vault. Imagine this guardian who stood outside the heavy iron doors for years, protecting the treasures inside through the freezing cold and the driving rain, firmly believing that everyone who approached the perimeter was a thief. They watched the horizon with hypervigilance, analyzing every shadow, refusing to rest because the fear of being robbed again was far greater than the crushing exhaustion in their bones. Until one day, someone arrives, not to take anything from the vault, not to demand access to the gold, but simply to hand over the missing key. That is exactly where you are right now, Taurus, standing guard, expecting a thief, when the universe is sending the exact person holding your key. I saw you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., trying to convince yourself you didn't need anybody. I watched you carry the weight of 3 lifetimes on your shoulders, quietly absorbing the impact of everyone else's storms, while your own foundation was silently cracking. I heard the calculations you made in the dark, weighing how much you could give without losing yourself completely. Your isolation was never your final destination. It was only a waiting room, and I am finally opening the door to let your true compensation in. There is a man who carried this exact same heavy armor for years. He pushed away everyone who tried to get close, deeply convinced that solitude was his only safe haven after a devastating betrayal that nearly destroyed his spirit. He saw every compliment as a trap and every act of kindness as a heavy debt waiting to be collected. And then someone stepped into his life who didn't try to break his walls, but simply sat beside them until he felt safe enough to lower the drawbridge. What changed in him was not the world around him, but the profound realization that true karmic alignment doesn't require defense. It requires surrender. He finally let the law of concentric echoes finish its work, and he received the exact devotion he always deserved. You are still processing this right now, feeling that familiar tightening in your chest and a sudden, strange warmth spreading through your shoulders as you finally allow yourself to exhale. But do not look away just yet. The deepest truth is still ahead, and it has your name. To truly understand what this karmic return demands from you right now, you must first acknowledge who you had to become while you were waiting for it in the dark. Because the universe does not just repay a generic debt, it repays the specific identity that bore the crushing weight of that unpaid balance for all these years. You became the guardian who sustained the house in silence. While everyone else was allowed to fall apart and drop their responsibilities, you were the one holding the structure together, quietly absorbing the panic of others so they wouldn't have to face it alone. But beneath that unshakable, stoic exterior is a profound, unacknowledged exhaustion, a quiet, desperate wish that just once someone would stand guard at the door for you so you could finally sleep without fear. You became the sower who planted in ungrateful soil. You poured your absolute best devotion, your most valuable time, and your rarest emotional resources into people who eagerly took your harvest and left you standing in barren earth. You learned to demand absolutely nothing, heavily convincing yourself that your love was meant to be given without return, masking the deep, silent starvation of a heart that simply wanted to be chosen back. And you became the anchor who held everyone steady in the storm. Taurus carries, Taurus sustains. Taurus does not ask to be rescued. You grounded the chaotic, turbulent lives around you, sacrificing your own forward movement to provide absolute safety for those who were drifting. Yet your greatest hidden vulnerability is the silent terror that if you ever let go, if you ever allow yourself to float for just a moment, you will be completely forgotten by the very people you saved. Notice your chest right now. Feel that sudden, sharp warmth expanding behind your ribs. This heat has a name. It is the undeniable physical recognition of your own hidden truth being spoken aloud. You are all three of them, Taurus. You have survived your profound isolation by mastering the art of enduring without asking for a single drop of help. But that survival mechanism has now fulfilled its purpose. The cycle of endless endurance is officially over. But this identity that has just been declared over you needs to be actively sustained. Because the Taurus who knows their own immense value but does not understand the mechanics of their past, karmic debt will inevitably go back to carrying a weight that is no longer theirs. It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. It is available right now in the first pinned comment. This map is the exact instruction you need to sustain the open heart that has just been declared over you. Without it, your ancient fears, your stubborn pride, your heavy attachment to isolation, and your instinct to run away will convince you to lock the doors again. Do not wait for the panic to return to sustain what was just spoken over you. Do not wait for tomorrow's doubts to sabotage the profound emotional relief you are feeling right now. Go to the first pinned comment and download your digital book. The path to your liberation is drawn. I promised I would return to this, because before you take another step forward, you need to know exactly how this old cycle will try to pull you backward, because it will try. I told you that before you took another step forward, you needed to know exactly how this old cycle would try to pull you backward. And it will try, Taurus, because an ancient defense mechanism does not simply surrender without a final desperate fight. In the coming days, as this new presence moves ever closer to your perimeter, the residual weight of your karmic debt will deploy 3 specific tactics to convince you to pull that heavy drawbridge back up. The first tactic is the insidious doubt that sounds exactly like your own voice telling you it is simply too good to be true. It is that quiet, calculating whisper in the back of your mind, insisting that this sudden, genuine affection is a mistake, or worse, a meticulous setup for a massive fall. It is your survival instinct trying to keep you safe in the only way it knows how, through rejection. When you hear that whisper, you must use your first weapon. Stop whatever you are doing and turn your hands over so your palms are facing upward. You are physically signaling to the universe that you are no longer bracing for an attack, and as you hold that posture, you must declare aloud, "I am safe to receive what is meant for me." The second tactic is the sudden, overwhelming urge to isolate yourself completely, just as they show true, unwavering interest. The exact moment they cross a certain line of intimacy and demonstrate that they actually plan to stay, your nervous system will falsely signal extreme danger. It will demand that you retreat into your fortress, put your phone on silent, and push them away before they can see the real you. When this crushing urge to run strikes, do not move. Take 3 slow, deep breaths directly into the center of your chest, deliberately expanding the space where the panic lives, and speak your second weapon. I release the need to protect myself from blessings. The third tactic is the heavy, stubborn attachment to your past pain, making you look for red flags that simply aren't there. For some of you, this will look like actively searching for a flaw in their words, holding your breath and waiting for the exact moment they will let you down, just like the others did. You are unconsciously projecting an old ghost onto a completely new arrival. When you catch yourself doing this, walk to the sink and wash your hands in cold water. Let the sudden physical shock completely reset your nervous system and state your final weapon. This is a new cycle, not an old ghost. These 3 weapons protect you from what I managed to show you today. But the cycle has more layers than fit in a single video. Because when the fear of betrayal whispers in your ear, when your pride tells you it's safer to be alone, when the urge to run away hits you out of nowhere, you will need a deeper anchor to hold you steady. It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. It is available right now in the first pinned comment. This is the complete map of surrender you need, so this fear doesn't sabotage your blessings again. I am not rushing you. I am warning you. Do not wait for your self-sabotage to win to finally open the map. The cosmic window for this specific karmic settlement is incredibly narrow, and it demands your immediate conscious participation to remain open. Go to the first pinned comment and download your digital book right now. And now I need you to stop learning for a moment and simply begin to feel. Close your eyes, Taurus, or just soften your gaze if you need to. I want you to step away from the noise of your mind and the endless calculations of your day for just a moment. Drop your shoulders. Let go of that invisible tension you always carry at the base of your neck. Breathe once, slowly, directly into the center of your chest. You have spent so much time bracing for the next inevitable impact that your physical body has forgotten how to simply rest in the presence of something genuinely good. But right now, in this exact cosmic window, you are completely safe. There is absolutely nothing to defend against here. Close your eyes and visualize the massive, cold iron chains of your inner fortress resting heavily in your hands. Feel the rough, rusted texture of the metal you have held onto for years, the exhausting weight of isolation you dragged around just to keep everyone out. Now, take a deep breath and consciously feel the chains slipping through your fingers. Hear the loud, unmistakable sound of the heavy wooden drawbridge hitting the ground with a solid, echoing thud. Feel the sudden warmth of the sun entering the dark courtyard of your chest, and the profound physical release of tension dropping from your shoulders as you finally let someone cross the moat. Release the heavy guilt for pushing away people who simply did not know how to hold your emotional depth. Release the ancient fear that every new connection is just a carefully disguised disappointment waiting to break your spirit again. Release the bitter account of unrequited devotion that you have been trying to balance entirely on your own for lifetimes. Release the exhausting, terrifying need to always be the strongest person in the room, secretly terrified that if you let yourself fall, no one will be there to catch you. The guardian who sustained the house in silence is finally allowed to rest and let someone else stand watch at the heavy doors. The sower who planted in ungrateful soil is finally standing before a magnificent harvest. They did not have to painfully cultivate alone. The anchor who held everyone steady in the storm is finally being pulled up from the dark depths, free to move forward into peaceful, quiet waters. You are still processing this right now, feeling that familiar tightening in your chest slowly being replaced by an overwhelming, unfamiliar sense of relief. Before we seal this, write down below the name of someone you are carrying on this crossing, or if it is for you, write in one sentence what you are expecting the universe to return to you. I will read it, and you won't write it alone. Do not release this energy just yet. We are not finished. Stay with me. I place a cosmic shield over the home you have worked so hard to sustain entirely on your own. I declare a profound protection over every ounce of devotion you have poured into ungrateful soil over the years. And I seal the heavy iron gates of your past so that absolutely nothing can block the profound karmic return that is making its way to you right now. We, who carry in silence, understand the devastating weight of being the strong one for everyone else. We know what it is like to be the unshakable foundation for people who never once asked how our own walls were holding up, enduring the quiet exhaustion of sustaining the world while secretly starving for a single drop of true reciprocity. I saw you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. trying to convince yourself you didn't need anybody. We recognize the familiar pain of every text left unread, every promise that slowly faded away, and every night you spent meticulously rebuilding your defenses because trusting again felt like walking blindfolded to the edge of a cliff. We have watched you give your absolute best to the wrong people, rationalizing their absence while silently absorbing the deep emotional starvation that followed. We know how terrifying it is to lower the drawbridge when your only reward for vulnerability has always been another profound disappointment, another reason to lock the doors. But we are standing here today to declare that your season of unrequited loyalty is definitively over. The karmic debt you have carried so quietly is finally being balanced, and the cosmic scales are actively shifting to return the exact weight of the love you thought was lost forever. The doubt that sounds exactly like your own voice telling you it is simply too good to be true ends here. The sudden, overwhelming urge to isolate yourself completely, just as they show true interest, ends here. The heavy, stubborn attachment to your past pain, making you look for red flags that simply aren't there, ends here. Taurus is never late. Taurus is not behind anyone. Taurus arrives right on time. Don't let go yet. The universe has just told you, I saw you staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m. trying to convince yourself you didn't need anybody. and it is exactly why I need to remind you of one thing before sealing this. What was released here today is real, Taurus. But tomorrow morning, the daily routine will try to convince you that nothing has changed, and that ancient fear of vulnerability that will try to convince you to close your door again tomorrow morning will inevitably wake up with you. The old cycle will desperately attempt to reassert its control over your heart. This is why you cannot rely on a fleeting feeling to sustain the drawbridge you just lowered today so it doesn't snap shut tomorrow. It was searching for answers to this that I found this digital book called The Great Secret Behind the Karmic Debt of Taurus. It is available right now in the first pinned comment. This map is the definitive anchor you need to navigate the coming days without retreating into your heavy armor. It will give you the exact energetic tools to maintain your receptivity when the old panic strikes out of nowhere. Do not wait for tomorrow's doubts to test the vulnerability you embrace today. Go to the first pinned comment, download your digital book right now, and secure the profound spiritual relief you have finally achieved. There are thousands of Taurus listening to this right now, standing in the exact same silence as you, feeling this identical shift in their chest. You are part of a massive, quiet wave of healing. If this voice found you today, subscribe to the channel not for numbers, but because the next message of this series will look for exactly whoever has already crossed this first one. In the next video of this series, I'm going to show you the specific sign that appears 3 days before a major karmic debt is repaid to you, and why almost every Taurus ignores it. Don't miss it. And still in this video, Taurus, before I seal this hour with you, I come back one last time to this request. You have walked with me this far, you have crossed every word, every revelation, every sign. And if at any moment of this message you felt the universe touch you, you know this video was not an accident. The voluntary donation link remains open in the first pinned comment, right below the digital book. Not as a charge, not as an exchange, but as a giving back from the one who received to the source this message came from. Any amount your heart points to, and the universe sees every gesture. The universe sees, and the universe multiplies over your home, over your days, over what you don't even know is about to arrive. This was my last request. I'll be waiting for you there. Thank you so much. And when the heavy weight tries to return in the middle of the night, remember that the answer has a name, the great secret of the karmic debt, and it is already within your reach. The massive fortress with the heavy iron drawbridge has served its purpose and kept you alive, but the one approaching your perimeter today is carrying the missing key. The siege is finally over. Now, you can let go. This message is complete. What was seen was seen. What was settled was settled. Walk light, Taurus.